Okay, I'd like to remind everybody that we agreed last meeting that we would have this session videotaped. And so we'll meet for an hour. And I think, as I told you a couple weeks ago, a new member would be joining the group.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Remind me of your name, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my name's Luke. What was your name?
Josh.
Josh. Hi.
Hi.
You guys have names too? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Natalie.
Hey, Natalie.
Aparna.
Bobby.
Anne.
So, Luke, what brings you into our group?
Well, I'm kind of new to the area, actually. So I just came down here from New York with my wife and my family. Didn't really want to move from New York, but things happened. Family stuff. So we're here now. My wife is from down here. Her mom got ill, so she wanted to care for her, and so it doesn't really matter what was going on in New York or whether I was, having a really successful surgical practice or you name it, but we're down here now, so I did do a little bit of group therapy up there. Doc was the best. Dr. Billow, he was terrific. I remember he told me that I was like probably the most professionally successful person he ever met, which was like, finally somebody gets it. But
Super.
Are you working here?
am I working here? I am working here, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I was just laughing. You were the most professionally successful person that he had ever worked with.
Well, that's what he said. I thought you said stupid for a second.
Oh, I said super.
Oh, okay. Better.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Happy to have you.
thanks. How about you guys?
Well, I have been in this group for about 2 years, and I joined the group because I'm kind of I'm shy and anxious in groups like this.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a lot better. These guys are they're good. They're a good group, and I work. I'm a student and trying to get a PhD.
How's that?
It's going okay. Getting close to getting done.
Good.
And maybe some of you guys would like to introduce yourself too.
Sure. I've been in group now for about 2 years, the same as Aparna. I started because I oftentimes mistook things that happened in life as rejections from people. And when that happens, it really hurts, and I get really angry with myself, and one thing leads to the next, and I start hurting myself. And so to kind of help with that, my psychiatrist and my therapist were really worried about me, and they thought that group would be a good place for me to kind of work through those thoughts and those feelings that arise at those moments. So that's why I'm here.
It seems like a lot of you guys have been in this group for like years. Is that true? Like you guys all know each other real well and stuff, or?
Been
I
a
think
couple
so.
years.
2 years now.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be like that. But.
Well, we've had other group members that have been in the group and then had to leave, or so. I think we're a pretty open group though to new members.
I think anyone's welcome here, so we appreciate you being here.
And why are you here?
Yeah. No, like I'm remembering like when I started group up in New York too. It felt like this also. I guess the short version is my wife said I should come to this, and that's what she said up there too. But I put a lot of energy into the things that I thought were going to be helpful for my family, and I guess bring me happiness long term. And I don't know. I can talk real nice about myself, but I don't know if I'm real happy like I thought I was going to be at this point. And, it's kind of like hard to complain when you're in my situation. Nobody, a lot of people have worse problems than I do, kind of thing. But my patients always demand a lot of me. It's kind of a thankless job, right? It's like if everything goes as planned, okay, good, we got what we paid for. If something gets screwed up, you're on the hot seat. So, I don't really feel like. I guess what I've learned from my group before was that a lot of feeling like underappreciated because of my work stuff was maybe coming out at home where I didn't really feel appreciated there too, and it was hard for me to tell where things were coming from, and maybe I was being unfair to people at home, or maybe I was being unfair to people at work because of home stuff. I haven't figured it all out, but my wife said when we come down here I need to keep doing it, so.
So you're doing this for your wife?
I'm doing it for my family, including myself, including my wife,
That would be kind of the second thing that he's doing that he didn't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd like to hear more about other people, I know, like Aparna and Bobby now. And
I've been coming to the group about the same amount of time as Aparna and Bobby. Started coming because I was feeling depressed, and started out, we had like a pretty polite and supportive group, and Dr. Gans kept trying to kind of push us to be more honest about our feelings, and so it's a place where I can open up sort of, but then I found out that like that only goes so far. People kind of only tolerate so much honesty, but it is a supportive group.
I had a divorce, so I wish my husband had wanted to work on things like you want to work on things for your family. So I was in couples therapy, and then it didn't work out, so I decided to come to group. And I'm just trying to figure out how to talk to people and how to move on. So, yeah.
I was working. I did construction. Lost my job and found myself drinking more than I should have, and kind of having a hard time at home. So one thing led to another, and it seemed like I needed another place to plug in and figure out what's going on.
What'd you say you do?
Surgery.
Where do you work?
I work at Parkland Memorial Hospital.
What kind of surgery do you do?
So I'm a cardiac person. But I noticed like are you like one of those eye contact people, or do I have like a booger on my face or something? Because you don't seem to like to look at me when we're talking or something.
I didn't realize I wasn't looking at you when we were talking.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not as pretty to look at as you think.
No.
Just kidding. No, I was asking because my husband's an anesthesiologist.
I can see how supportive the group is. Yeah, so what's that like being married to an anesthesiologist?
It's good.
It's good, huh?
It's Dr. Johnson. Maybe you'll work with him. It's nice. Couple of kids.
And do you not like him or something?
Why would you say that?
I don't know. It just seems like that he's new in the group, and there seems to be some tension there.
No, I don't know. I try to just keep it real.
So actually, I'm wondering how it is for everybody. The 5 of you have been together, the group, for a long time, and to have someone new kind of changes the group, and on the other hand, it's not easy to be new.
I feel like we've lost our groove. It just seemed like there was a lot more to talk about, and one thing would kind of lead to the next. But it just seems very halted right now. seems hard to get started. I mean, we're telling each other about ourselves, but it doesn't have too much to do with what's kind of what we used to talk about, our
Yeah,
feelings
it's
and
weird.
what's going on right now. So
Yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of hard to get used to a new member, just because I'm a shy person, and it took me probably 6 months before I was able to open up to everyone. So there might be some other people here too that feel like that.
Like, is it something I'm doing that's making it hard to open up?
No, I mean not for me. It's just if it's a new face, it takes me a while. But some of our other group members are a little bit more confrontational, I guess.
Me?
Yeah, and we've talked about this before in group. I thought we were.
But y'all know that I'm supportive, right? I mean,
yeah, but still, sometimes the things you say they hurt when they're brought up. I mean,
but you know that I like you.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if I didn't respect you, I wouldn't be honest.
oh, I know.
I don't know that I always feel like you like us. I think you're honest with us. I think that's something we appreciate, though. It's something that's valuable to the group. I'm just surprised, Luke, you're able to talk so much. Honestly, when I first got to group, I just kind of sat back.
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, like you kind of come presenting yourself like everything's good, right? And I still, even though you've been open with us, and I appreciate that, I don't feel like I have a great understanding of why you feel like you need to be here. You've got some frustrating stuff going on, but you have a good job and seem to like what you do more or less.
That's so funny, Josh. That's exactly what I thought about you when you first joined.
Well, and maybe that's
Yeah.
part of it is we've had time together.
Right.
So, not to call you out, I just
No, I kind of expected I'd be under the microscope a little bit, kind of coming onto your turf like this. So this was how it went for me before too. So maybe I'm just trying to kind of make a good first impression, But no, I can think back, and my dad was a surgeon too, right? And so it was one of those things where growing up all along, I knew my dad loved me, but he, a lot of times when I would do something, the feedback I would get was something like, I know you can do better, that kind of thing, right? So that really pushed me. And I think in many ways it got me to where I am right now, But now that I can look and say, okay, I've jumped through those hoops and I've kind of achieved to some degree what I was after. I mean, I still feel driven. There's always the next hoop to jump through, but I guess I feel a little bit lost in the woods right now because I don't know if those hoops that I see in front of me are really gonna lead me where I thought they would.
Like what? I don't understand what you're talking about.
like, where do you want to be?
Give me a second, okay? You asked tough questions. I'm still trying to put it all together too.
I just don't understand what problem you're trying to work on here.
Oh, I guess like a sense of purpose. Like I said, money, sure. Like cars and house and all that pretty stuff. This watch is incredible right here. Okay. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be a body in a box with a watch on. I got a kid now too. He's 2 years old. I start thinking about what I want to leave for him. My dad wasn't around much. My mom was just sort of another woman who's, not getting what she wants. So I just starting to feel more and more like that's the path I'm headed down with my little family. And trying to understand that better. So I'm sorry if I don't have it all in a nice tray for you to examine here, but
What's that like being a dad? I mean, my
So,
fiance's
I can understand people wanting to know more about Luke, but I wonder if it would help if people said more about what it's like for you to have a new member.
don't know whether to like him or dislike him right now.
Yeah, say more.
I'm, on the one hand, he says things like that he had a more difficult childhood, but then he's blessed in that he has money, a house, and a really expensive watch, and I've never had those things.
And a child.
And a child, I don't have a child, and so, yeah, I mean, there's parts of what you say that I can empathize with and I can really connect with, but there's other ones that just make me not want to like you, and I'm sorry, but
It's pretty outspoken to say.
I'm surprised by myself too right now, but
Thank you. I feel like I'm usually in that position.
right.
Well, it makes me wonder, are there other people that feel like Bobby does, or?
Yeah, I mean, I like having you here. I'm glad you're here. I think we're all here to accomplish something and work. And by nature of your job, I think you're here to work, like you do everything. But at the same time, you've got a lot of things that you like to show off to us at the beginning to let us know your presence, and maybe that takes time to work through, just like all the rest of us probably have rubbed each other a little bit in certain ways wrong along the way.
Well, I got mixed feelings too, because I come in here and I don't know you guys, and you ask me all these questions, and I just try to be honest with you and tell you stuff about me, and now it's like, ooh, I don't know if I like him. I'm like a person, I don't know if I like you either. I'm not like coming out here saying, hey, tell me a bunch of stuff and I'll decide whether I like you or not. So that doesn't sound like the warm, fuzzy, supportive group that you guys were all hyping up to me here.
You were in group therapy before. I mean, didn't you guys talk to each other about these types of things?
What types of things?
How you felt about each other, how you were coming across to each other.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised that I've, left this kind of impression, because I like to think I'm a really nice guy. Sounds like I'm not so great.
I don't think you come off as a bad guy. You just seem kind of lost, dude.
Yeah.
That's all. And I don't think you know what to say, so you're just filling up the space.
Yeah. Okay,
I think it'd be okay if you didn't talk.
me too.
Okay.
Me too.
You mean for a while or ever? Or?
Oh no, I just meant if he feels uncomfortable, that's okay.
Yeah, well, I was remembering what Bobby was saying, that I'm kind of throwing you off your flow here. Would it be better if I just sort of quit
No.
while we're ahead, and you guys can get back to kind of how you normally do it?
I don't think I meant it that way. I think any change is gonna throw us off our flow a little bit.
Yeah, actually, I was wondering, well, what's going on with Bobby when he said that, because that's not really.
It's
not
not
like you.
Yeah.
It's jarring for me to have someone new. This situation makes me very nervous, and I think you guys noticed every time someone new comes in, it gets harder for me in the group. It takes me a while to warm up to someone. I feel like I have to trust that person, and maybe that's why I don't know if I like you or not. It's just I don't know if I can trust you, which is, for me, it's the same situation with anyone new I meet.
But for you to call him out that quick that you did is
Yeah.
more like something Anne usually does, for
Right.
admittedly.
So you've made our
wanna-
group less boring.
Yeah.
Thanks
Well,
for that.
you were saying you like honesty.
I like honesty.
So you've got a anesthesiologist husband and a couple of kids.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got? I want to hear more about you.
Oh, yeah, stuff is good. It's good. Pretty much a stay-at-home mom. I do some editing, like some freelance editing of medical school admission essays and things like that. Some magazine articles. Mostly a stay-at-home mom, though.
Well, you're involved in stuff too. You stay busy outside the house with like the community service things.
Yeah, oh yeah, like local volunteering and yeah.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's good or great there. Kind of to take a page out of Josh's book. So why are you here?
A couple of years ago, I just I was pretty depressed, and I have a really good marriage. My husband really supports me and everything, but he thinks that like to argue is damaging to a marriage, and you know, I used to really agree with that. Like you can inflict a wound in an instant, but it can take years to heal. But you know, I just have to be really careful, you know, at home, and I don't want to be like arguing in front of the kids and everything. So I think that's just kind of hard on me. I realized that that, you know, there's a certain way we have to act. I mean, that's part of being a grown-up, but sometimes I just don't feel too happy with my life. You know? That's it.
So you mean you can't be your full self at home? Is that?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know we've talked about this ad nauseum in the past, but I would have given anything to have a place that didn't have arguments as a kid, right? So I mean,
As a kid.
is that so bad to really be in a place where things can stay calm and quiet?
I mean, I guess it could be worse. It's not like there was any abuse or anything like that. But, yeah, but so, I mean, you and your wife, though, you would talk it out. Like, I mean, if you had a problem, if she was unhappy, you would just talk it out, right?
I mean, a lot of times it's just better to not even bring it up, because what's the point? It's just gonna go down that road again.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe you should weigh in, you said.
No, I just was wondering if that's your same philosophy in group, is just not bring up the real stuff because there's no point. Or...
No, it's the opposite. Group is the place where we can bring that up.
Hey Josh, when you first came in, you didn't really used to bring anything up, right? And then we kind of had to force you, or try to push you to be more open.
Which is good, but if I snap at somebody at work, then I lose my job. If I snap at somebody at home, then things get screwed up there. If I snap at somebody here, then I care about you guys and want to see you get better, but I don't take it home with me. So it's sort of like inconsequential here, right?
Have you felt like snapping at any of us?
No, but I'm comfortable going down that road, right? I can.
I don't know. There was that time like a couple weeks ago. I think the two of you were kind of going at it, or it felt like that to me. You kind of held it together.
Right, but I'm saying I'm comfortable calling people out on things in case it gets elevated and I lose my cool, then I'm okay with that here, whereas I don't think I would be at home. Because I can't have the same kind of life at home that for my kid when he's born that I had, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, does it have to be the opposite extreme? Like you can't disagree with your wife?
Well, I don't know that I don't disagree. Clearly, there are times I disagree, but I don't know.
I mean, you're
I
talking
don't know
about
what
like
fruit there is in bringing it up.
if you blow up at home, there's a problem there, but it doesn't seem like that really happens.
Because I don't go down that road, right? But if I were to start down that path, then eventually it would lead there. Eventually I would lose my cool. She would set me off. And so
And then
if
what?
I avoid that path altogether, then
So what? I mean, so what if you lose your cool?
well, then I have the same things at home that I've been trying to avoid for the past 15 years.
I'd like to see you lose your cool. I'd like to see that. I think that'd be good for you. I'm just meeting you, but I get a sense I don't get it. You're at home, you can't lose your cool at home, so you come here and you don't lose your cool here. It's like, where you lose your cool at? Are you just cool?
Well,
Josh, did I make a mistake bringing him in?
no, I wouldn't say so.
It's okay if he talks to you like that?
I expect it.
Yeah, but how did you feel?
Well, we're still all getting to know each other, and I don't blame you at all for not knowing who I am or what I look like in certain situations. But I don't know. I don't know if you have assumptions about what I look like when I'm normal, what I look like when I'm not calm. But I don't lose my cool for a reason.
I wonder if the alcohol is involved in that. You mentioned the alcohol thing, right?
Well,
Does that help?
and for a time it did. I mean, that was kind of what kept me from losing my cool. I could just disappear in that. But obviously, it's not a good solution long term. So something had to change, and that's why I'm here.
You doing all right, Josh?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know that if you were to ask me that question, then I think I would have been pretty mad. The fact that you
What about the alcohol?
bring up the alcohol.
That was kind of on the table though.
You mean just because he's new, or
I don't know, just kind of like, well, maybe the alcohol made it worse. It's like
maybe the alcohol did make it worse?
I know for me, it just kind of it pulled on something, and I was like, whoa, he's going there.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me.
Oh, okay.
I'm here to make it better, whatever the problem is. So if new or old or whatever, I expect you guys to say something if you see it. Call it like it is.
Bobby, it seems like you're kind of the protector of the group a little bit, huh?
I don't
You
know.
Speak
I mean,
up for
I know.
everybody.
I know exactly how I feel in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
I assume people feel that way. I guess what frustrates me about Josh is that it seems like he never feels anything. It's either he's not going to blow up or just keep it cool. Or I guess he's going to either blow up or keep it cool. There's nothing really in the middle, and
Every once in a while, I think you're gonna lose it.
but he never does.
But that kind of stuff's black and white to me. There's not much gray or middle ground, I don't think. Maybe that's just because I've never really seen it, right? Maybe you guys are better at that than I am, but to live in that gray where you can have that conflict and push people and be mad, but not blow up.
But do you not feel anything?
I try not to.
I wish I could feel less. I feel so much all the time, and it just causes problems for me.
I think I know what Josh is talking about. I mean, I had similar problems in my marriage. Like, I didn't come from a very conflict-filled family, and my husband did, and he was totally cool with fighting, and like he could blow up, and then everything's okay afterwards. But like in my mind, it's not. Like, it's how do you get over that, right? Is it kind of like that?
So you had a hard time when he would blow up. You had a hard time.
I don't even know if
recovering
he ever blew up, but like if we'd fight, I didn't know what to do with it afterwards. Like, what do you do with all those feelings? Like, I think you get them out there, and that doesn't make anything better. It didn't. I don't know. It just made me feel less comfortable and less safe.
I'm with you, but for me, it's like if I don't get it out, then it just sits on me, and it's got nowhere else to go but places it doesn't need to, you know?
Mm.
It's interesting. It's like we're speaking about the same thing, but on the other side.
A different side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It scares me. It makes me feel like things aren't going to work out. You know, my relationship if we fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you argue with your wife?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if you were looking over there at me.
Yeah. Eye contact thing. Yeah.
Do I argue with my wife? Sure.
Uh,
How do you not? I mean, I hear what you're saying about the kids and stuff, but to me, it's like, it sounds like you're so worried about not arguing at home in front of the kids and with your husband that you're going to come over here and find the next best guy to argue with. Hello. New guy. Another doctor. Easy. Right, Doc?
So,
You see that too? Yeah, I know.
She calls everybody out. I mean,
I noticed
she
that,
starts
yeah.
off every time saying she wants to speak her mind, and wishes we would. So
Yeah.
you're part of the group.
No, I
True.
think that actually part of healthy communication in a marriage is being able to. You have to have like some passion. You have to be able to talk about the way you feel. Yeah, like you have to be authentic. If you're just worried, like at every moment about what you're gonna say, if you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings, then it's miserable.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the group wants honesty and authenticity, but on the other hand, is it going to end up in a fight? Are people going to get hurt? So it seems like there's tension around how much we can bring in here.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'm more worried about, other than Josh getting mad, is Aparna getting mad. You guys are both.
Barna.
I
Oh boy. Oh
Hate to
boy.
see that.
know.
We have not seen that
Who
yet.
can we get more fired
Well,
up?
I will share something. It's my birthday today, and I didn't tell you guys,
Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday.
but I'm, it's a big birthday though. I'm 31 now, and yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
It's a good year.
Well, I've told them before, but I'm still single, and I feel like I'm getting older. I'm in my 30s now, so it's kind of been
So now's the time.
and I guess so.
I'm just saying. We talked about it's not that hard. Like,
But I mean, she's told you it is for her.
well, I'm just talking about hooking up with somebody. I mean, it's hard to find, somebody that you're really compatible with and marry, et cetera, but like, just,
Aparna, Luke's afraid you could be a bomb.
Nah, I'm not a bomb.
No.
Why did you think that?
Well, I did, but happy birthday. I don't know why you didn't tell us at first. I feel like a big old jerk for starting shit with everybody on your birthday.
start
somehow
shit with her
don't-
instead.
I don't think you
Happy
feel that
birthday.
See, you seem like you'd be a charming guy,
Oh,
but
I get that a lot.
yeah, I figured you did.
The watch.
Bobby was
Watch.
gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, both of you guys, like you and Josh, are both like, I think would be like charming guys. And we've talked about this before in group, but I would be afraid to date someone like you guys, one of you guys, because you're really confident, and I'm not good at being confident.
It took you a long time to be able to say that in group. I'm impressed you're able to tell that to Luke right off the bat.
Yeah, I remember what you said at first about being kind of shy, right? So this strikes me as probably being kind of a bit risky for you right now, opening
Yeah.
up like this, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I care. I'll say a lot of things, but I care about this being a safe place too. So
Thank you for that.
And somebody will be lucky to have you. I feel differently than Ann. It's worth waiting for somebody that you really care about and find that
And
person.
Well, you could wait forever
And-
though. It's a little practice,
well, can I ask you a question as like the new guy?
Sure.
So what's the story with that? Why are you having
It's a
such
long
trouble
story.
with this?
They know the story. So I haven't really dated anyone in like 7 years, except for I was on this online dating thing for a month, but
Mhm.
then
Shychicks.com.
no, not that one,
Well,
not that one.
awesome.
You thought that was funny?
Sorry, New York humor.
Okay, well that was kind of funny.
I'm glad you thought it was funny.
Yeah, and you have a nice watch.
Hey,
Yeah.
ladies. Okay, so go on. Nobody for 8 years. What happened?
Well, there was this guy that I dated in college, but then I'm really religious, and we were in this Bible study group together. But then after we got done with college, he wanted to go to Russia to be a missionary. And then he left. And for a while, I thought it was kind of romantic. Like I could pine after him, but then he broke up with me. And then after that, we've talked about it in group before. I'm pretty sensitive to rejection, so I didn't feel like I could get back and try to date. And then one time, my friends convinced me to get on, I don't know, whatever the one you said, but on Match.com. So,
Yeah.
but then I went on 2 dates, and both of those guys didn't call me back, so I just felt like maybe it wasn't the right place for me, and maybe I wasn't gonna find anyone on there, and I felt kind of rejected, like Bobby sometimes mentions feeling rejected easily.
That you
And
must have been
so-
sending out some signals though that you weren't really into them, or you didn't want them to notice you. Like, when you came, I'm glad you said it's your birthday, happy birthday, but like, when you came in here, you didn't say it at first, and you're kind of like looking down, and
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe the guys took that as like you weren't open or you weren't gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's another thing I worry about too. I've never really been like the fun person, like I never had that much to offer in a conversation. I'm just more of like a listener, and I don't think people don't really like listeners that much. It's
You have
not exciting.
Sorry to interrupt. You have a lot of nice things to say about yourself. So no wonder you haven't gotten out there and found anybody. Sounds like kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy a little bit to me.
Yeah, I know they've told me before, but I just and I was doing a little better, but now that it's my birthday again and I'm still single, I've just kind of got down on myself about it.
You're worried because you're 31 and you're single?
Yeah, and
Aparna, I'm 31. I'm divorced. Like, do you think there's something wrong with me?
no, but you're like you know who you are. I feel like I'm still trying to, like I never felt like I really had my own ideas or anything. I just kind of try to just, try to be in a group and say or listen to them, because I don't know that I have a lot of my own, like, exciting thoughts to talk about. I'm more of like a listener, and I like to write, poetry and stuff, but I don't feel comfortable talking to other people in groups.
I hear that. I think you're really selling yourself short, though, and giving me way too much credit. Yeah, I'm a mess here every week. Like, who knows what I did last week or who I slept with,
Yeah, but at least when you come to group, you seem like you sort of have it together. But you're right, you never really tell us what's going on with you, but you try to make all of us feel better. And so I think you're selling yourself short too in that.
Would you have felt better if the group wanted to know more about feelings about yourself rather than kind of reassuring you that?
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't usually like to talk about myself, because it feels like if I'm talking about myself, it's like being too flashy or trying to draw a lot of attention to myself. And when they just say, oh yeah, you'll be fine, then we just move on to the next topic. But yeah, I would have liked it if, you guys have known me for a while. I don't open up that easily, and I have been a little better about it, but now we have a new group member, so I didn't want to say anything unless you guys kind of tried to pry, and then that's why I shared now.
You know, I noticed with this history of rejection that you kind of were free with sharing with Luke some of these things. How did you decide you wanted him to know all that?
Well, so Luke, so he seems like we're kind of rejecting him too right now. So in a way, so I feel like
he can take it.
yeah, but well, I don't know. I mean, he seems like he can take it, but maybe he feels like we're rejecting him too. So I kind of identified with him, and I thought he might appreciate it if I told him that. And he, you know, for a guy that's a surgeon, he seemed like he was actually sort of interested in what I had to say. So,
You'd kind of like him to stay?
yeah. I like you, Luke.
Hey, thank you. I like you, Aparna, and I appreciate you telling me it's your birthday. Not only because, that's a big deal, but I feel like I've learned a little bit about you here now. And I will tell you, as like just a new guy coming up, before you said all that stuff, you were kind of forgettable. I mean, like I'm gonna remember some of these guys just because we had the back and forth. But you hadn't said anything. I probably wouldn't have remembered you quite as well as other people if we just went off on our separate ways again. So I learned something about you. I'm very curious over here though, because you said Natalie knows herself so well. I think Natalie, you're the one I know the least.
Yeah. I mean, I talk when I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows why I'm here, right?
Because you're divorced?
Hmm. Yeah. I can't seem to make any relationship work. So I tried to work on it, individual therapy, and that didn't do anything. So I thought maybe this would help.
I feel bad all of a sudden. I feel like I was picking on you or something I didn't mean to be.
Oh, it's okay. I had a rough week. I have like up weeks and down weeks, and it's just, I don't know, kind of a down week. So I'm just kind of sad. It's nothing you did. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, actually, I can kind of see what he's saying. I know you usually like to just be supportive of all of us, but you just said you had a down week, but you didn't tell us why it was down.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the shitty thing about it. I don't really know why. Sometimes you wake up and you feel good, and then sometimes you wonder why you're here. Like, what's the point? I live with my mom. Life didn't go how it was supposed to go.
I mean, I've definitely noticed it. 'Cause usually the group's a lot more lively when you're feeling better.
Yeah.
You mean you're feeling something from that?
I was feeling bad for her. I mean, because I noticed that, when I think of Natalie, I tend to think of someone that's very upbeat, someone that tries to help people, doesn't want to make anyone feel bad. It's been there for me when someone said something to me in the group, and so she just seems less engaged today. And there's, I don't know, I guess when Luke said it, am I the protector? And I was kind of mulling that over the last however long since you said it, and I want to make sure that I don't hurt anyone or no one gets hurt in the group. I know that I've been hurting here. I've gone home not feeling very good, but then not bringing it up in group either, so I think it's my fault, but I want to make sure you don't go and feel like that.
Oh, that's okay. It wouldn't be anything you guys did. I don't know. And my mom just started asking about, like, when I'd move out or if I was ever going to date again, and I don't know if I will. I kind of feel like something's wrong with me most of the time. So I just kind of been stupidly thinking about that over and over again, like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And why do I live with my mom? 31, working retail. I don't know. I'm just being a Debbie Downer. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to. You can tell us about it. You don't have to call yourself a Debbie Downer. You have to refer to yourself.
I do feel a little depressed. I mean, I would say this group has turned out to be a little more of a downer.
And when you say that, you smile.
Well, I mean, I don't know, it's just kind of hard to sit here and listen to. I mean, it's nothing on you, you know, but it's kind of depressing to sit here and.
It might be. I mean, I don't mean to. I was trying not to say a lot. Luke asked.
Are you afraid you're going to pull the group down?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's happened before. It was like a couple weeks ago, I was telling you guys that sometimes I think about suicide, and it got really quiet. I don't think anyone knew how to handle that. So I feel kind of uncomfortable being sad, but I also don't want to fake it to anybody, you know?
I don't think you're alone in that. I mean, I know you're not alone in that. I know that I have felt that way before. I think that if you just say it and talk about it, it's better than when you kind of wait and say, like, well, I don't really want to talk about it, but yes, I do. I mean, if it's something that's going on, like, just get it out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I talked to my mom about it this weekend and just really scared her. And I feel really bad about that. Yeah, I bet I don't think it's easy for your own mom to hear that, like, you don't want to be alive. You know?
Have you seen your psychiatrist?
No, I just come to group. So,
You gonna be safe?
yeah, no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
It sounds like you've told the group, don't worry about me, but it sounds like they want to.
Yeah.
I'm definitely worried. If you don't get worried about that, what are you gonna get worried about, right? But being that I'm just meeting you, all those things that Bobby was saying about you being like supportive and kind of nurturing to the group. I mean, I saw that here. I just wonder if all that stuff is you can kind of hide behind that stuff in here. It seems like it was hard for you to tell us this stuff here. I understand why, but maybe you're being too supportive in here.
Maybe. I mean, I never really feel like I don't have a reason to be sad. I have everything I need. So.
Well, for me, at least, this is one of the times that I actually connect with you. Most of the time, yeah. I do appreciate the support that you give to the group, and it makes me feel better. But at the same time, I always feel like I'm the worst one off in the group. I mean, we have a surgeon now. We have a PhD student.
Why do you feel
We
that
have
way?
Dr. Gans here. We have you. We have construction. I'm on disability. I live with my parents. I'm 38 years old. Not married, never been married. Last relationship I had was maybe 15 years ago. Most people don't know what to do with me when I start cutting. Yeah, and I don't bring it up in here either that much because I don't feel like it's... One time I did bring it up, and it was kind of the same thing. People in the group didn't know
Yeah,
what
everyone
to do
just
with
gets
it.
sad.
So,
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, I'm scared. I want to be able to speak out and just talk with you like a regular person, but then I get scared, like, that you're gonna cut.
we are
and-
regular people.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. But I get scared that you're gonna go cut yourself, and so I feel like I have to walk on eggshells around you a little bit. And
I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I get it. That it's something scary. It scares me too. But I wish some people were stronger than I was. And that's why I come to group. I come to group because I want help with it. I don't want to go home feeling like I want to cut on myself.
What do you mean you wish some people were stronger?
But if you guys are all walking on eggshells, not being able to deal with it, I don't know how I'm supposed to. I haven't been able to.
I don't understand what you want us to do because
I don't know either. You know, for me, coming into group and talking about it is helpful. But when I do bring it up, if people get scared, then I feel bad for even bringing it up.
Hmm.
I guess I just want to know that people care and they support me regardless.
But I mean, we do. A few weeks ago, I know you told me I had said something, and obviously didn't mean to. I have good intentions, but I know I said something that set you off and made you feel that way when you went home. But when you tell us, I can do something about it. I can fix it. I know what not to say.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a hard thing because at those moments that it happens, I don't think I really process it right then. It's usually after the group I go home and think about what's been said and start wondering if I did something wrong.
I tell you, Bobby, I don't know what to do with that right now, but I'll tell you, it reminds me. I have a sister. When we were young, she did that sometimes in high school. I never understood it then. I don't really understand it now, but you may not be like the only person that does those things or feels that way, you know? Maybe there's other people that would understand better if you figured out a different way to share it with people or something. It sounds like this group was mean. I wasn't here, but what? It's like you feel ashamed or something for having been honest, and I thought this was like the honesty group.
I wouldn't say it's ashamed, but the feedback I seem to get seems to be like, oh, it'll get better, don't worry about it. And that in and of itself has never helped. So I get that everyone cares about each other.
I mean, are you cutting yourself as much as you used to?
Not as much these days, no.
Maybe it's getting better.
Sure. Yeah, maybe it is.
Josh, Bobby, a few minutes ago, Anne said that she wasn't sure what to say to you. She was afraid of hurting you. Is the group treating you as more fragile than you feel you are?
I don't know if they're treating me more fragile than I think I am. But I think I meet whatever. It's difficult to explain. On days that people seem to not really talk to me or engage with me in here, I feel worse. Like if I'm having a hard time and they don't ask me about it or seem like that they care, it's harder on me when I go home. So it's almost like however fragile they think I am, I've become that fragile. I don't know, just even that comment of, I don't know how to talk to you. We can't talk to you like a normal person. That really hurts.
So is there something you'd like to say to Anne?
That hurts. It's really messed up to say that. I mean, yes, I do cut. For me, that helps me. Because if I'm feeling like shit, I know that cutting makes me feel better.
So I'm supposed to say, like, congratulations, you
No.
cut, it makes you feel better?
What? No.
What are you telling me right now? Like, you cut, it makes you feel better?
I'm saying
Like,
that's
it
what
was a shitty thing
happens
for
to
me
me.
to say that I feel worried about
No,
saying
you
something that's
said-
going to make you cut yourself.
No, you said, I don't know how to talk to you because I don't think I can talk to you like a normal person.
Well, I didn't mean you're not a normal person.
That's what you said.
I don't think the cutting part is normal, but I didn't mean that, like, you're a bad person.
All right, whatever. I mean,
Anne, could you access at all what Bobby stirs up for you?
I don't want to hurt you, and I just now, like, I'm not even exactly sure what I said.
you keep saying it's not a normal thing. There's
Well, okay, but it's not normal to cut yourself. I don't want you to cut yourself. I don't want you to hurt yourself. And
But that doesn't mean he's
Hurt
not a
yourself really
normal
badly.
person. Right.
well, I think it's normal for people to be fucked up. I mean, we're all fucked up. We wouldn't be here otherwise. But you know, you were saying like you'll sit here sometimes and not say anything, and you'll feel bad because people didn't ask you about yourself.
Or show concern or something. That they just kind of tiptoe on it because they don't know what to say to me.
So why not bring it up yourself? Like, you have to accept a little bit of responsibility for that yourself. Like, if you need some attention, then you need to speak up and say something about it.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
Isn't that what he's doing?
We've got about 4 more minutes left.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the whole not normal thing, but I wouldn't mind a little education about how to handle that with you, because I don't really know what to say or what not to say. And
I mean, just listening to me and then, I don't know, because right now what Anne's saying isn't helpful. If anything, it's making, initially I was really angry, now I feel like I've done something wrong. Okay, yeah, that is my responsibility, so now,
So you can educate
And I
him
don't-
on what somebody could say that would be helpful.
I don't mean that in a rude way. You know, I think I relate with both of you. One, it sounds like she kind of hurt your feelings. I get that. That's a real sensitive thing to talk about. You were telling us about not wanting to talk about it. You talk about it, and then she calls you not normal. Doesn't make you want to talk more about it. But I understand what she's saying. We're like, so what do we do with this? Because it sounds like it's part of why you come here. It's part of what you want to be. This to be about for you.
right.
But we keep doing it wrong.
Just not be afraid of it. If you really are curious, ask about it. But
But I get it too. I mean, I don't think that's the way you should have phrased it. I don't know, but at the same time, she's trying to say something about the way you're cutting, and
yeah,
you know, and that kind of pushed your buttons and hurt your feelings, and so can we talk about it or can we not?
I
Does that
prefer
make
that
it
you
better?
do.
Does it make it worse?
I prefer that you do, but you know, just the fact that I mentioned that it hurts when the way she said it, and she gets really defensive.
Yeah.
I just wish she would, from my point of view, that it just hurts when she says it like that. That's it. And maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe that's my problem. But if that's the case, then I'd like you guys to tell me. Because if it is, maybe I can work on it.
Well, maybe that's her ripping the Band-Aid off for you.
Maybe.
I want to say I'm sorry, but that's what I do all the time at home. Is just, avoid conflict. The honest truth is I don't understand what I did wrong here. I'm confused.
I mean, does anybody else think that what you said wasn't cool?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's you made him, instead of saying that cutting is not normal, you said he's not normal, right? I think that's what bothered me,
Did I
right?
say that?
You said he's not a normal person.
Did I say Bobby's not a normal person?
Or I don't know how to talk. Something about not
Can't talk to you like a normal
normal
person,
person.
right?
And then
I
when
might
she
have said
calls
that.
the act not being normal, I don't know. Okay, I know there's something wrong with it. I shouldn't. But it sucks to be reminded that something's different about me.
But I mean, you're here because there's something different about you,
Sure.
right? I mean, you ask for help and then say you don't want to be reminded. At some point, you gotta tackle it.
And you said you
Right.
feel bad if you go home and nobody asked you about
They don't-
yourself.
Like they didn't
Like, if
care
we
about
don't
it, or
detect-
they didn't want to talk about it. They didn't even want to go there. Because it is some sort of scary topic that they can't bring up. That's what I go home feeling like there really is something wrong with me.
So, Bobby, do you think we should check in with you like every time, just to make sure you're doing okay, or do you think that wouldn't be the right way to go about it?
It's it's hard for me to say exactly what I want.
Sounds to me like you're here to talk about it, so why we should just stop beating around the bush just when you're here to talk about it.
I can do that.
Instead of hoping us that we bring it up the right way, just if you're here to talk about it, talk about it.
Well, on that note, we have to stop all this hard work today. See you next week.